Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs opening the door for communist China to spy on our military bases. Welcome back to Doug In Exile.
Drinking with my girls, hey. Drinking with my boys, hey. Bones in the air, now click. Selfie. Bones in the air, now click. Selfie. Bones in the air, now click. Selfie.
Subscribe to join our happy little throng. This, of course, doesn't just affect Arizona, although that's what this is mostly about. It affects the rest of the country because so many of our military bases are in Arizona. I have a friend who goes to my church. He joined the Marines. He was stationed out in Arizona. So if their bases are compromised, it affects everyone in the country that cares about our military. We're one of them. Shout out to the Quad Club. We got a special funny thing for you guys at the end. So you won't believe what my furious people are saying. Today, we're diving into Katie Hobbs' shocking decision to let China buy land near our military bases, while Arkansas's governor, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, is kicking them out. Here's the kicker. Some are asking if China wanted Hobbs in office instead of Kari Lake. Smash that like button if you're still sick of politicians selling out America, and let's get into it. I guess I'll start. Let me do this one here. We'll do some Laura Ingraham.
It's completely ridiculous. I mean, you got 22 states who've already passed similar bans. This passed the actual Senate 41-17 with 8 Democrats actually voting for this. And yes, it will make a difference when you stop CCP ownership of lands around military bases and farmlands. I've proposed this a long time ago. Just like we have eminent domain where the federal government can go ahead and evaluate land and determine its value, we should do the same thing with everything owned by the CCP across the nation. We should look at how much the Chinese cost us on their COVID virus vaccinations and their release that they had, and we should call it an even trade and take that land back for American farmers and American businesses.
Okay, so maybe we don't have to buy it back. We can just call it an even trade. I like the sound of that kind of a business deal. So what's got everyone so fired up? On June 2nd, 2025, Katie Hobbs vetoed a bill, SB 1109, that would have banned Chinese government-linked companies from buying land near Arizona's military bases, like Luke Air Force Base, where our F-35 pilots train. And there's a lot of hardware there, obviously, that would be susceptible to a drone attack. This China land blocking wasn't some partisan stunt, though. It was bipartisan, supported by 22 other states already blocking China's land grabs. Those will tend to be MAGA, Trump, Republican, red states. Hobbs called the bill ineffective and whined about arbitrary enforcement, but people aren't buying it. They're calling it a betrayal of Arizona and America. Arizona Senate Majority Leader Janae Shamp blasted Hobbs, saying her veto is utterly insane and puts our national security at risk. She pointed out China's been trying to lease land near Luke Air Force Base, just to lease even. They don't want to own it. They just want to lease it so they can occupy it and put their spy craft on the land. And I don't think they mean to open up a Panda Express, by the way. 2 biggest uses for the land could be drones, which puts hardware very close to our hardware for China, and surveillance is a big one that is already happening. There's other parts of the country where towers were built on Chinese land, and they could easily erect far-seeing cameras to watch our jets take off and personnel coming and going from the base. This is just a huge compromise. I can't believe we're doing it. Every major base, military base in America, not every, but most, China has been able to purchase or lease land near it. Michael Lucci from State Armor Action put it even better. Hobbs has just hung an open for CCP sign on Arizona's front door. And this is after Katie Hobbs has already hung an open to Mexico sign on our back door.
Hey everybody, Tim Birch is just leaving the House floor. Hey, go Big Orange. One beautiful, big, beautiful. Hey, hush! I'm trying to talk on the computer here. One bill, the American Entrepreneur's First Act, Representative Beth Van Dyne, is in small business and requires citizenship for small business administration loans. You'd think that'd be just a given, but it's not. And guess what? They don't pay their dadgum loans back. And it just codifies President Trump's executive orders, 2 of them actually. So we're getting to work finally on those executive orders.
People are worried about sites like Palo Verde nuclear plant and Taiwan semiconductors chip factories, which are critical to our economy and defense. Voters from Phoenix to Scottsdale are asking, why is Hobbs letting China buy land near our bases? Whose side is she on? Others are demanding investigations into her ties to China. You can answer that in the chat below. Is Katie Hobbs compromised? Let me know in the chat below. Now, I'm not saying she's a Chinese agent. I don't want to go that far, but that's for you to decide. But when you veto a bill protecting our military, people start asking questions. Why block something so common sense? What's Hobbs hiding? If you were China or Mexico, it seems you would want Katie Hobbs to beat Kari Lake in an election, hands down. This isn't just about land, it's about our troops, our safety. Today, we're recognizing the June 6th, 1944 invasion at Normandy. This is a sacred day. And let's look at what would those soldiers think, 4,500 kids who lost their lives in one day. Think of us handing over our own territory.
The real truth?
Yeah.
I feel like a foreigner in my own country lots of times, and I don't like it. It makes my heart real heavy. And I just hope we can pull out of this. There's too much Hollywood going on in Washington all the time. The important subjects they don't cover. So the thing is, I hope that I hope all the guys will rally up and we'll go back and straighten it all out.
To our number one enemy in the world. They're turning over our safety and our sovereignty. China's been buying land around nearly every military base in America, and it doesn't look coincidental. They just so happen to buy land that would make it easy to steal our secrets. You think that's unfair to accuse China of? Remember, they already flew a confirmed spy balloon over our entire country under Joe Biden. Also remember, China has already been caught using AI, web crawlers, hacking, and TikTok to surveil, gather information about us. And Hobbs is just making it easy for them in Arizona. I don't know what Arizonans are thinking voting for that girl. People are saying this isn't a mistake. It's a sellout. And it's not just Luke Air Force Base at risk. It's our entire state security. So why is Hobbs so soft on CCP? Why does she act like a sumo wrestler in an all-you-can-eat Golden Dragon buffet? Let's compare her to a real leader. Enter Sarah Huckabee Sanders, the governor of Arkansas and a true America First patriot. Back in October of 2023, Sanders didn't mess around. She ordered Syngenta, a Chinese-owned company, to sell 160 acres of farmland, citing national security risks. She fined them $280,000 and gave them 2 years to get out. Backed by a tough state law, Sanders said it's clear as day, quote, Chinese state-owned corporations steal American research and target our farms. That's a clear threat. Some might say, what do you mean she's targeting our farms? We just caught that student, I think he was up in Michigan, a Chinese guy who was dating a girl at the university who brought in 3 deadly spores in plastic bags hidden in his boot that we caught. The spore is made to invade our farms, are called agro-terrorism, it's based on agriculture, but it's meant to be launched into our plant life. Makes people sick. I don't get the whole Katie Hobbs thing. I'm going to check in on Kari Lake real quick here too. So here's Kari Lake today. She says, who else agrees with Kari Lake? She says, take every square inch of U.S. farmland back from China. Do not leave them with a single blade of grass. That's what Arizona voted against in Katie Hobbs. I don't get what they're all thinking. We'll get back to more on Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Here's Kari Lake on TV, posted from her own Twitter account.
Yeah, and I love the Democrats. They screw up and they blame and they want to take away your rights for their screw ups. I just love that about the Democrats, I say with a great deal of tongue planted in cheek.
It's like,
Go
don't
ahead.
look here, look over there. You know, they're trying to wave around
Exactly.
shiny objects, hoping that we won't see the really obvious thing, which is, why are you allowing terrorists and criminals to come into our country unfettered?
That's Katie Hobbs' other legacy, is that southern border, letting terrorists into the southern border. It's a real problem having a Democrat on a southern border, because they can fight all of Trump's legislation, all of the hard work that he does. Let's get back to Sarah Huckabee Sanders. People on X went wild calling Sarah Huckabee Sanders a hero over her move blocking Chinese land purchases. Even now, they're bringing her actions to shame Katie Hobbs, saying things like Sarah Huckabee Sanders protects America. Katie Hobbs invites the CCP. Senator Tom Cotton praises Arkansas's model for other states, and conservative outlets are saying Sanders has the spine that Hobbs lacks. While Hobbs makes excuses, Sanders took action, protecting her state from Chinese espionage. So this could spread. This is an idea that's very popular, could easily get picked up by other conservative states and hopefully eventually make its way to Arizona. People are asking, why can't Hobbs be more like Sanders? Is she scared to stand up to China, or is it something else going on? Sanders showed what a governor with guts looks like, and Katie Hobbs, she's leaving Arizona wide open and available like an Eric Swalwell call girl. Now, here's where it gets interesting. People are bringing up Kari Lake, Arizona's first warrior. Lake's team tweeted, "Communist China thinks America is for sale." And it seems like crooked Katie Hobbs is opening to hearing offers. On X, folks saying China would love a governor like Hobbs who doesn't block their land buys, but they'd hate a fighter like Lake. That is, our enemies would prefer a Katie Hobbs. One user put it bluntly, no wonder Kari Lake's a threat to the globalists. If Lake won, she would close Arizona land deals with China. Let me know in the chat below. Once again, we'll continue. But let me know in the chat below if you wish Arizona had voted for Kari Lake instead of Katie Hobbs. I'm going to real quick I'll do Kari Lake at the very end on Twitter. Karen Taylor Robinson, who could run in 2026, called Hobbs's veto disgraceful, hinting Lake's leadership would have been tougher. People are asking, did China want a weak governor like Hobbs instead of patriot like Kari Lake? I know a lot of patriots in Arizona, and I just don't understand their votes for Hobbs. Lake's been warning about threats to Arizona for years. Would she have let China near our bases? What do you think? Would Kari Lake let China own land near our bases? Like, how can, even if Kari Lake only lost the election because of her comments ripping on what's his name, John McCain, would every John McCain supporter want China owning land near our bases, or would they not regret that vote for Katie Hobbs? Let me do this one real quick. This is Kari Lake on Twitter regarding the Trump-Elon Musk fight. This was just this morning. She says, "It's good to let a little steam off every once in a while. Do you agree? MAGA forever." And then here's my final one. This is a comment from one of you guys I'm going to post here. It's very rare that I put this up on my show, but I like this one. This is Krev Lob. Quadzilla. The world's in a whirlwind, a whirling dervish, but that should have been expected. Got a confession to make on this is about the Quad Club saying Quadzilla. Look at my t-shirt I'm wearing right now. There's the big Godzilla kaiju right there. I'm a huge Godzilla fan. So in honor of Kreb Lob, if you're in the Quad Club, give me a Quadzilla down in the chat below. Now you're all caught up on Katie Hobbs, Kari Lake, and Huckabee Sanders. I'm Doug in Exile. Subscribe. Quadzilla.